All right, everybody. This week, we're going to take a break from mortgages and real estate, and we're going to do something entirely different.
Something fun.
Yeah. You know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to talk politics.
No, that's not fun.
Yes.
No.
Because we have...
No, I don't think we should do that.
No. Guess who we brought on as a guest this week?
Oh, I don't know. Good one, John. Good job there. You're doing well hiding the guest.
You don't want to miss this, folks. We'll be back right after this. Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am Delynn Gaston. Thank you so much for joining us today. So,
Yay! We got a cool guest.
I know we have a very cool guest.
Yes.
We're so excited.
And she's going to help us out, and we're going to talk a lot about a lot of great things going on out there.
Not all politics.
Not all politics. No, we're not.
Because she's a fun person.
Yeah, she's fun, and we thought she would be a really good guest to have this week with all of the people suffering
And all the stuff that's going on.
The aftermath
Right.
of Hurricane Michael, and I know that's like a really sad subject, but we thought our guest Amanda Murphy, the one and only. For those of you who don't know
Amanda.
her,
Great to be here. Thanks.
You should know her because she is a great person, and we've
Yeah, if you
known
don't
her.
get to know her.
Yeah, I get to know her. We brought her on so you could get to know her, and she's going to help us out with some of this aftermath of what's going on with Hurricane Michael and her perspective, because she's a former state rep.
Yes.
So
Right
she's
here
been
in
on the
Pasco.
inside scoop when tragedy does strike our
Right.
state.
Yeah.
And as state rep, we had some flooding issues and a couple storms during my time. And so, you know, our office was the backup for the county. We kind of worked along with the county because the phones would have too many calls in. So we said to the county, hey, we can take some of those because they're already calling our state office. And we literally would put a spreadsheet together and go back and forth the entire time that we were dealing with emergency issues. So that was kind of nice to be able to assist in that. But up in the panhandle, we have a lot of tragedy going on. And I'd like to say that our governor has really done some great things to help those citizens. It's just getting the word out.
That's fantastic.
It's tragic.
What is
happening.
going on up there? Do you know? I know that you have people up there and
Yeah, still have connections up there. So the governor has brought in FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers. So if there are homes that are still up, still standing, but have roof damage, they'll come in because there's a big rainstorm supposed to come in this weekend.
Oh, you're
So the
kidding.
Army Corps will come in, and put tarps over all those roofs because there are no tarps available. I just had a friend who went to the Panhandle to deliver some items. She said there are no tarps available. So if you have tarps that you wouldn't mind sending, but they need nails and hammers to go with those. But the Army Corps will do that. And then the governor also received a grant from the federal government so that anyone that is displaced from employment right now and could help and assist with bringing supplies or food in or with repair and rebuild, then he will hire them on right now so they don't lose their wages.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
have you seen, if you've seen some of the pictures of devastation, I know Mexico Beach was hit the hardest.
Right.
I have a home in Panama City, so it's near and dear to me. And
Just to the east of that, right?
yes, so
Or west? Just
it's
to the
about
west of it? Are
45 minutes to the west of.
Okay,
So,
west, all right.
But it's kind of devastating what it's happened to the people. It's turned their lives upside down. And I was telling Amanda earlier that, I was all sad in a selfish way that everybody's canceling their vacations and the town is a ghost town in Panama City Beach. And I'm like, selfishly, I'm losing all this rental income, which really at the grand scheme of things, who really cares about that? But people are canceling vacations because they don't want to go there. Well, now I'm happy to say, though, I've been able to provide a place. I have a family right now with 3 children that has nowhere to go. They've lost everything, and they thank me every day. They're like, hey, we have air conditioning
So
here,
their
we
house
have
is
water.
gone. Their house is
thank you.
completely
This is so
demolished.
much better than what we were going through. I can't thank you enough. And my phone rings literally constantly for people needing a place to stay, and we don't,
Right, and
crazy.
I've had people reach out to me via Facebook or text trying to say, hey, do you have some place up there? Because we'll go up and help, but we don't know where we can stay.
Oh, that's right. So that's the other thing. So all of these people who lived there lost their homes and are homeless right now.
Yes.
And then anybody who can come from our area or any area in the state to help, they have no place
the
to
country.
go, right? Because
Right, and the gas
for
shortage.
the country, yeah.
And,
And then there's a gas shortage as well up there right now.
Yes.
And they're worried about the water. You need to boil the water because there's limited
So
supplies.
so let's start first with where are the people who lost their houses? Are they still in the shelters, which are the schools, which means where's the schools?
Right, yes. So they've been displaced to as many of the hotels in the
Are
area that they
full.
can. Right. So think about that. They're at max
So
capacity.
who pays for that? Let me ask if I can.
So the state will come in with some funding. Their insurance companies will come in with some funding, but the state will
okay.
get some FEMA money to do some displacement. Absolutely, because when you
Yeah.
have nothing, I mean,
And
I
then they lost
can't
their
even
job,
begin to
too.
imagine. Right. There's no work.
So how are they
going
going to pay for a hotel when they don't
And they
have
said the
their job?
beach actually fared better than Panama City proper.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen pictures
So-
of the beach and it looks beautiful. And they've encouraged us not to come up right now.
Absolutely,
Right.
and
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
they said the other problem was that people were going sightseeing up
Right.
there,
Oh,
and
jeez.
they don't have the gas for that because there's literally in Calhoun County there's one gas station, and that's for emergency vehicles and utility repair trucks to fill up. So please do not go up
Yeah, just to go sightseeing.
and to go.
But I know we have a number of organizations here locally. I saw the Farrells, for example, were loading trucks up,
Yes.
which kudos to them, and bringing stuff up. I saw Jen and
Which Jen? We know lots.
Jen Rimkin from
yeah.
Can't Fix
Ain't Gonna
Itself.
Fix
Ain't Gonna
Itself.
Fix Itself. They were bringing supplies up, and it's so many people pulling together and doing great things.
Right.
And
As always, I mean,
Yeah.
well, our community is great anyway.
All right,
We have the
it
best
is.
community
We do.
in
We
the
do.
state.
We
Yes.
do.
And so, and up in Tallahassee, they've been taking supplies from Tallahassee, where they're still part of them that don't have power too.
right.
But they've been driving stuff over.
What can the state do? As far is there money earmarked for this? Is there budgeted items? Do you know?
Well, it comes from an emergency fund. Absolutely.
Okay, so there is money earmarked for this. I mean, but how do you prepare for what a $30 billion disaster?
Is that what it's at? I know.
Yeah.
It's probably
Right.
up to that now.
And we don't even know yet because they're not completed with getting to all the areas. So by the time it's over, it's going to tap into our citizens' insurance. It's going to tap into our FEMA dollars. And as a state, we've been very solvent so far. So let's hope that they've planned for this rainy day.
So from a mortgage perspective, you and
Real
Delaney
estate.
and I, real
Bringing it
estate.
back to real estate.
Yeah, so where we've been dealing with is, areas that are affected require, and most of your realtors, I already told you, you're going to have delays when these storms come in. And, re-inspections are required. So what does that mean to you? That means extension on contracts.
Right.
Insurance.
Because even though we weren't hit in our immediate area of the storm, because we had an evacuation in place because of the coastal floodings that they were worried about, they're saying we have to do re-inspections.
Right.
So
Oh, wow.
we're going to have to re-inspect.
All right, we're going to be
those
back with some more tips with Amanda Murphy, and we'll be back right after this. All right, we're back, everybody, with our special guest, Amanda Murphy. Thank you for joining us and sharing your wisdom about the impact of these storms hitting the Panhandle. It's crazy. And
Wish we didn't have to talk about it.
So I know. So I heard on the news the other day that they said something to the effect of, and I didn't catch the whole story, something about, I'm guessing they're talking about FEMA, I'm not sure, where it's going to be $20 or $30 billion that damage,
recovery
right,
costs.
the recovery costs. And that they were wondering if it was going to jeopardize the solvency of the insurance for the state. And they said that it would have to be $50 billion in order to jeopardize that, which would happen if it happened to have hit either Tampa, Miami,
wow.
or Jacksonville.
Because the population and the number of people and the number of houses.
So
Think about that, though.
I know. where does this compare to like Andrew and stuff? Because that's the one that, and you were here for that, right? I
yes.
wasn't.
Oh, okay. My brother was going to school in Miami, so we literally were driving him down to school and there were still trees in the roads and stoplights out. And I actually was at, what was it? Lollapalooza, the very first one.
Can you spell that?
Say that 3 times fast, right?
That was the very first one.
Right.
And Andrew was hitting, and I finally looked and I said, we probably should get home. We were in Orlando. We probably should get home, Mom, because that's before cell phones. Mom's going to kill us for not being home. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that was 90.
4-ish or something like that,
so
I think.
the cost of homes and the escalation of our markets have driven the prices up.
yes.
So now the cost to replace is obviously going to be much greater now.
Because they said, I think, you know, since record keeping or whatever, that was the most expensive one to hit our state. And now I have a hunch
Cat 5, right?
Michael's going to surpass that.
It's crazy though, but you know, Sprint still does not have service up there. People are buying temporary phones. I'm told AT&T is working up there. There's a shortage of workers. I know a cleaning person on our building. A tree came down in their yard. It busted the plumbing. And so someone else called 13 plumbers. No answers, no return calls.
They're
you can't,
just so
you can't
busy.
get a hold of anybody right now.
So
that's going to
two-
be, I
Well,
mean, how
how
long
many
is it
people
going to take?
fled, too?
Right.
Yeah.
So two questions I have. So one would be, in your opinion, as a state, have we prepared a little bit better since Andrew, you know, for this kind of thing? Like, where do we stand as far as that's concerned? And then what can we do? Pasco County is such a giving community, and I know we already gave Kevin Guthrie.
That's right, Kevin
So
Guthrie.
Kevin's up there now. He was appointed, right?
Yes,
We
by
gave
Governor
Kevin.
Scott. So
And he's
our Kevin.
our own homegrown Kevin Guthrie that was
Absolutely.
with emergency services here, did a great job. And obviously somebody saw that.
That's right.
They steal all the good Pasco people. So
Sad for Pasco, but glad that he's at the state level
And
handling
doing
this because he
something
did a phenomenal
fantastic.
job here.
Right,
So
right.
that's really, yes, absolutely. We're really happy.
we never even had him on our show and they found him.
I know.
See?
Everybody gets famous on this show. Couldn't say that with a straight face. So what can we do? What can we do from, I know that like the Farrells are sending teams and some plumbers I think I know are going up there. What else can we do?
So
Any
there are
idea?
quite a few different groups collecting. I know my office is collecting stuff. What they need up there, burner phones.
Okay.
It's really important. Fix a flat. Think about that. There are nails and stuff all on the road. There's
Oh.
nowhere to repair those.
Oh, okay.
Gas cans. We know it's not safe to drive with gas in
Right.
them, but think about it. When we had the hurricane last year, I didn't have a gas can to refill for my generator. We had to go find a gas can at that time. So
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And with the rain coming this weekend, my girlfriend that called me from up there, she said what we're worried about is we need gloves and bleach because we're going to have a mold issue.
Wow.
Things that you don't think about.
Right. Wow, that's crazy.
So
Over and
those are
above
just-
everybody donates water and things
Right,
like that.
exactly,
So,
yes,
Okay, so
I
beyond the
mean-
normal stuff.
Exactly, like I said, and lots of paper products because they can't wash their dishes.
So paper plates,
It's just
plastic
crazy.
Plastic forks, yes.
So
napkins.
maybe a lesson to be learned from the mortgage and real estate side, you know, is and I preach this often. People
Get flood insurance.
Get your insurance, but if you're in the
Absolutely.
process of buying a home, get your policy bound. We had so many delays because
Right.
once that storm enters the box, the insurance company shut down. They're not going to write.
All of them did.
Well, and even there was a business in downtown Newport Richey that couldn't get their permits finished because Tallahassee got shut down.
yes.
So
Yes.
that's a
that.
2-week delay.
Yes.
That's money every day that you're losing as a business owner.
I actually had a meeting with at my son's school with the vocational rehab people because he's about to move on, and they canceled because their corporate is in Tallahassee.
Wow.
And they
Think
canceled the
about
meeting.
this.
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
things.
yeah. So
Yes.
those people were out until the meeting is rescheduled for
But
next
knowing
week.
what you have for
Yeah,
insurance.
2 weeks.
And if you want to avoid delays, you can get bound right up front now.
Oh, very. See?
You know, so
And with
now-
rates going.
Yes, rates are going up. I know. You see, you know that.
Financial
Delynn and I were
advisor.
talking- yeah. Delynn,
I know.
Delynn and I talk, you know what is so funny? I watch the stock markets every day.
And I watch the bond
And I'm
markets
like-
every day.
And then there's no correlation.
I watch both.
And I know we want to be careful what we say about investments, but there's no correlation that usually when the stocks go up, you know, or they go down, like we've had some big drops here lately, the
Yes.
bond market should go up.
I know.
There's no rhyme or reason right
There-
now,
right.
but that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole, yes, we'd have to take.
Yeah, we'll have to come back on that one.
Because we're
right?
looking for those interest rates to drop, and they're just not. They keep creeping up, and so we're telling people lock in, get your insurance in place now.
Insurance and
Yes.
get flood insurance, right?
Flood
so
insurance.
even and especially we've said this so many times. Even if you're not in a flood zone, it costs like $300 or $400 a year. It's dirt cheap. Get it.
Absolutely.
Because you never know. Because look what happened.
All right, I know this is not part of our show. We're unscripted, clearly. Okay. If
Like they
haven't
didn't
noticed.
know that.
I know, shocking, isn't it? Anyway, I keep getting these mailers, Amanda, and I know you're running for state senate here.
He was gonna bring this up.
and I hate to bring it up, and I don't want to go political. And you know what? And I see pictures of
But
you.
we love Amanda.
And I've seen you, and I've known you for years now, and I think you're a great person. But I look at these mailers, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like you. I didn't want to bring.
God.
I was gonna bring them on the show today to show you. I had tons because
They're.
I get a mailer for
I just
every.
throw them
You
out.
don't realize
I don't even
how
need them.
unphotogenic you are until you see a mailer come out that's negative
Do
about
they
you.
like pump something in you to make you look different? I mean,
They
I'm just
sit
saying.
at every meeting that they can and get as close to you as they can in the front of the room and try and zoom in the whole time because, inevitably you're going to have one shot that's not going to look well.
Right,
And
right.
Of course, that's what they do, follow you around for the first half of the campaign cycle to get
but
those.
some of the statements, though, what's
And
all that about?
and, you
that's nothing to
wish-
do with the storm. I know,
Right, I
but
know.
this is a different.
But it's
storm.
a different storm, exactly. And you wish that you could go and combat each one of those, but they take and twist a vote. Say we have a bill and it's got 5 different things in it. You love 3, 2 of them are really bad. Do you vote for that bill or against that bill? And I've said over and over, anytime you're in Tallahassee, you can always have a pro or a con on every bill that you vote on, and you have to go with your gut and your instinct. And they hit me on teachers mostly. Well,
Right.
the Florida Education Association and both of the teachers unions in the counties that I'm running in have all endorsed me. So I go,
There might be
okay.
some reason behind that.
Right, exactly.
So do they have to put a whole bunch of stuff in there? Can't we just like one at a time?
It would be lovely, but by the end of session, what happens that last week, everyone's exhausted and they just seem to compile it and roll it all together. And it's to a place where you're voting on 70 bills and you get them that night. So you literally have that night to go over and they can be amended on the fly. And it does make it really an interesting time.
Well, it can be a thankless job, I'm sure. So, but
But
you
it's
want
worth
to serve
it.
your community, and
Because you get to support people and issues
All right.
like the storm.
I know.
we're going to talk more about that, I promise. No, but we're going to take a break. We'll get back to more about Hurricane Michael and Amanda Murphy. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back with our special guest, Amanda Murphy, and we're talking about Hurricane Michael.
To them, it was a short break. To us, it was a while.
Yeah, I
we were
know.
catching up.
I know,
That's
I
right.
know. It's great. It's great to have you on, really. I appreciate you.
I
coming
know.
on.
This.
I know. We have to do it
it's good,
again.
and we want people to know
We're not
you.
even done, and I want her back.
I don't. I know you're running for an elected position, and you're here to give us some of your because you've been in. You've been in Tallahassee and you fought for us, and the real estate people want to know about. It. People need to vote, and we talk about that and the impacts of Michael. And I want to put Michael to rest, and I know we're going to talk about it for many weeks.
That
What if
would
we-
be Hurricane Michael.
Yes. And what did we learn from Michael? Well, we learned that, first of all,
Get flood insurance.
get flood insurance, evacuate when you're told.
Yes.
Because that
Get
storm
out.
went from a Category 2 to a near Category
Like
5 like that. Because we never know. We think people are overreacting. Get your insurance in place. We talked about that. Lock your mortgage interest rate because if you're going to have a delay, you could lose that rate
Yep.
and it could be
That's right.
gone.
Yep.
And what else?
Be
Anything
prepared.
else? Be prepared.
Be
Get your
prepared.
supplies.
Because there's all this stuff that they don't have now. Gas and
that
Fix-A-Fly.
They could have had, and that's things. So
And it reminded me of stuff that I need to add to my list, my hurricane
Right,
preparedness list. So
That all of us should, because what happens if it happens to us?
we could do a whole show on hurricane preparedness.
I know.
Yes.
And we should.
All right, so we know now that those pictures weren't really your best photos on those mailers.
I know I'm
and
gonna have
all
to
that.
watch myself when I'm sitting and standing. I guess
because
but-
we're taking really good shots of you now.
Thanks, that's
So
right.
you look great. And anyway, what else can, from a government standpoint, what can people do? What can our real estate viewers do? What's important?
Well, there is a fund called the Sadowski Fund in Tallahassee that realtors have paid into every year. And the reason that the realtors actually voted to set that aside is to give affordable housing to individuals. You can get money from it to repair your home or to put a down payment on your mortgage. But every year Tallahassee likes to sweep those funds into the general trust. So we fight every year with the realtors, go up and fight to keep that money in this trust so that we have money for individuals who are lower income to be able to afford a down payment.
So is that possibly why the funds are dry right now for
The
Pasco
bond
County
money.
down
Absolutely.
payment assistance? So-
Yes.
And that affects their paycheck. What a huge thing. So
It's just one of the many issues where the state just keeps overriding their rule, in my opinion. I mean, the cities and counties have this stuff set up. We need to make sure that there's funding and money there for these projects because it's important to our citizens.
And that's where you come in. That's where you come in and you go and fight for us so that we have a voice, right?
Absolutely. That's what you're...
So many people think that we don't.
And I feel bad because I hear it every day, well, my vote doesn't count.
Right.
And when you're talking about local elections, every vote counts. My last election,
oh, you're going to bring that up?
there were 4,000 people that didn't vote in my race. I only lost by 691 votes.
Wow.
Every person's vote counts. I don't care if you're voting for the other person. You should exercise that right. It's important.
So many other countries don't have that right.
And we do
And we
here.
do.
And we do.
And
yes.
we just let it go.
And we have a lot of amendments this time that are directly affecting the county, our parks, our sheriff's office. So on this ballot, there are other issues that are very important to us as citizens here.
All right, so let me ask you, because we can't believe the mailers. You can't believe all the TV
Can't
ads.
believe the horrible TV
I
ads.
mean, and there's so many people that are brainwashed and they're like, oh, they did this, oh, he did that, or she did this, he did that. Where can people do their research and get an honest, true, facts-based
idea.
opinion?
The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization. They seem to have a pretty good questionnaire and answer it out. On our websites, we do some of the important issues to us as individuals. And then you kind of have to do your due diligence when you see all the mailers should have a bill number that they're associating that vote with. And then you can go and look
and
that
look up
vote
the
up
bill?
and look the
Oh,
actual
okay.
vote up, yes. And then, always call that person. I shock people every day because my number, I answer. And they're like, well, I was calling to talk to Amanda Murphy. I have a couple questions. I'm like, okay, this is me. How are you? And people get shocked, but that's who you should be going to. And there was never a time when I was in Tallahassee that I wasn't willing to put my vote count on Facebook and ask people for their opinion. Because it's
So all
that
those
important.
negative ads that are saying, oh, she's against the teachers or something like that, right?
Yes, with the Florida Education Association
Is for
endorsing
you.
me. Right, exactly. And when you talk about education issues, that particular one, in that same bill, by 2020, $1 billion of tax money was going to be rolled off into a voucher program. Voucher programs are great, but can our schools afford $1 billion being taken out of them?
Taken away from our public
education.
schools.
Right.
And where were we supposed to make up that money?
Right, and then you have unfunded mandates that come down, like arming a teacher or getting a new
The
SRO.
school resource officer or something like that.
That funding has
So
to
what
come from
happened
somewhere.
with all
No,
that?
so where'd all that money come from to do that?
So in this past cycle, there was money set aside that was going to go to our mental health program because we need to start funding that.
Well, that's where it all stems.
We had some great ideas on how to triage these persons. Well, when that all came about, they moved that money straight out of the mental health and into the school package. They robbed Peter to pay Paul, and one, I think, does overlay the other. Like you said, your school lost a guidance counselor, and I think that we need more guidance counselors to kind of be the stopgap for these children that could have some mental health issues, and we could save them if we catch them early.
Well, and they took, and it's kind of like an oxymoron, isn't it? Because they took it away from mental health, which is where the problem stemmed.
Absolutely.
So that we can arm the schools instead, arm a teacher or arm
So we're
an
going to
SRO
defend
or
them
something.
before we prevent them from going crazy. That's kind of
my
where we're
gosh.
at. When I
Right.
think about
Right,
it.
we don't prevent anything. We always go to the end result.
Yeah, let's put the Band-Aid on.
Right.
Let's not fix the cut. let's just put a Band-Aid on it and it'll heal itself, hopefully.
Right. Hopefully we didn't get any bacteria in there.
That's really sad when you think about those things. So,
Yeah, and that's why it's important to vote and exercise your right and follow up with the people that you elected.
think about this.
So feel free to call you afterwards and say,
Absolutely.
hey, what are you doing about that mental health thing?
You know what? And having a
is-
great school system is so important to the real estate market. I mean, what do people?
Absolutely.
What are the first things families look for when they move into
Good
an
schools.
area? Good schools. So if
And
we
they
had
buy in a
good
certain
schools-
area because of the good
That's
school.
right.
Right.
It's an A school.
And you talked about values coming up. Well, how do we raise our tax base? We bring up the values.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to raise taxes to do that.
Nope.
Just make improvements on it. I love what we talk about on this show.
See, you guys affect everyone's life every
Yeah,
day.
we do.
know.
We do. We change
We
people's
do.
lives
That's
all
right.
the time. Home ownership is a dream, and I love what we do. I hate it.
That's why after all these years,
I hate
we're
it
still
most
doing it.
Tuesdays, but for the rest of the time, it's
See, you
good.
love helping people. We love helping people.
we
And
do.
then it all
do.
works
down
together.
to.
That's right,
Yes.
because you need to get your home paid off before you retire.
Right.
So that you have that major asset accomplished.
Right.
Yeah, it all works together.
All right, so thank you for running again. Thank you for your
Yes,
wisdom.
thank you for running. Thank you for all you do.
I was beat up myself in my campaign,
Yes.
and I know how tough it is out there. I know firsthand. So, but we need more people.
She
that
wears
want,
it well, though, doesn't she?
Smile when you want to cry.
We need more people that want to step up and serve. So we
I know.
appreciate
And
And I would
that.
love it to not be so negative, so more people would step up.
Yeah.
I think that more
You
people
know,
would.
the other thing that we're saying, I know we're running out of time here, I'm not looking that way. But he was saying if we only took all that money and
All that money spent in these campaigns.
on the
Oh,
negative
campaign finance
ads and
reform.
the negative-
Imagine we could repair the entire panhandle with no help from assistance from outside.
I mean, there's
or put all that money
millions.
back in mental health.
There you
Listen,
go.
if I get one more bad picture of you in my mailbox, and that money could be used elsewhere.
Lord knows what they
It
pay
is.
for those TV ads that just do nothing but bash.
Oh, I can tell you.
gosh.
Get to know the people firsthand. Pick up the phone, call them, do your
Call
research.
Amanda.
Don't
Ask
look,
her questions.
Don't listen
She
to the
has no
paid for
problems.
commercials. Don't
Right.
listen to the mailers. Get
Throw
the
those out.
facts. So
Exactly.
You know, I love it. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank
for
you.
being
It's
on.
great to be
You know,
here.
we didn't cue her on how we end our show, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to
you
tell her
whisper
what to
and
say.
I'll
All right.
talk. So WPBA, what we have going on, this is a time of our show where we do our updates. So what we have going on is Bowling for Boobs was wonderful. Next is The Grinch. Go to WPBA.biz.
December 14th.
December 14th. And
Yep.
you can register and you can sponsor anything else. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, we don't have time to talk about more
I know.
community events, so you know what? We
That's
gotta
it.
go.
So thank
share
you-
our show, like it, put us out.
Thanks
We're
for
on
watching.
Facebook,
Thanks.
LinkedIn, Twitter, all the great social medias. And
We are today and every day.
Moving forward.
We'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.
have a great week, everybody.